I have a million billion thoughts going through my mind right now. And I wish I could explain everything. I wish I could just put this picture in my mind of everything, because it really is just a big ass mural of a whole bunch of shit. And I wish I could just post a picture of it so y'all could see, because if you look at what I'm looking at right now, I feel like y'all will understand. But obviously, I can't do that, and I have to use my words. So I'm gonna do the best that I can. And right now, I feel like everything that's been happening to me in my life is telling me that I am supposed to talk. That has been one of the things that I feel like I was always good at it. It's just when I was younger, I didn't know, I didn't realize it until I got older, until I had to work so hard on my confidence, on my self-esteem. I was so quiet and I was so shy and so not outspoken when I was a kid that I didn't realize the gift, if you will, that was inside of me. And every situation, especially recently, it just keeps telling me that I'm supposed to talk and get out what I'm thinking. And I've been wanting to start my channel for a long time. I have wanted to write a book before, and there's a number of reasons why. Number one, I'm very weird on camera. I'm very awkward with pictures and things like that. I feel crazy sometimes when I'm just talking to a camera in an empty room. It feels like I'm kind of crazy, and it just feels weird and awkward. But fuck it, I'm just gonna make myself do it. Number two, I've always understood it wasn't what you were saying, it was how you said it. And I've always been good with how to say things to people, because I understand that we all feel and see and understand things in different ways. And I think that's one thing I've noticed about myself is I have an ability to be able to take myself outside of myself and really listen to other people. And it's almost like when you listen to someone, you're like a sponge. You absorb what they're saying, you absorb how they're feeling, and it becomes a part of you. And when you're talking to people that have been through pain and trauma and struggle and heartache, that becomes a part of you. And it does, in a lot of ways, eat away at you. But at the same time, for me, it's also, just as much as it's eating away at me, it's also made me stronger. It's made me better, a better person, a stronger person, a more loving person, a more giving person. And by all means, it has hurt a lot in a lot of ways. But I feel like, especially with a lot of things that have been going on in the past few years of my life, that there's a reason why I know that I'm supposed to be sharing my thoughts and talking to you guys. I've just been, that was the other piece of me starting my channel, is I've recorded so many videos, and I overthink so much on what I'm saying, how I'm saying it. And I think that I've overthought it so much that it stopped me from actually doing it. And at this point, I'm just like, fuck it, I just got to do it. Stop thinking so hard on how I'm saying, and just trust my ability that what I'm saying is just, received in the way that I'm hoping. So yeah, right now, I'm trying to figure out where I want to start. I want to start with saying this. I've been struggling. I've been struggling a lot. And I feel like, to the outside world and people that really don't know me, that you would probably never be able to tell. And I've noticed that with damn near every person that I've talked to and got to know and heard their stories and their pain and their suffering, that you could say the same for them. And that's one reason why I am the way that I am, why I'm so caring, why I'm so humble, why I'm so open to conversation with people, why I'm so open with the conversations that I have about me, and why I'm willing to be so open with y'all, is that you just really never know what people are going through. You have no idea. And to never really judge someone. I might not say it an exact quote, but it's something like, our actions define us. I feel like in a lot of ways it's kind of true, but I think that one thing that we misunderstand is that what people have to go off of, because we can't read each other's minds, is how people act. And so when you see someone acting and their actions, that's all you have to define them. And I think that that's important for us to recognize when we're doing things, is to understand is that as far as other people know and what they view of us, of who we are, is how we act. And sometimes I think that the ways that we act misrepresents who we are. And so therefore, it's kind of almost impossible to be mad that other people judge us off of our actions, when sometimes our actions are misrepresentations of who we are. Which is why I think that one thing that's important, I had to learn this from growing up, is when I was a kid, I was so emotional. I had so many emotions. I was going through so much. I had so many feelings, and it was affecting me in so many ways. I wasn't thinking and processing before I act. I just felt, do. And it got to the point where I finally started realizing that I have to stop for a second. I just have to stop. I have to breathe. I have to process. If I have to talk to somebody, I got to talk to somebody. But I had to just fucking chill and really process how I was feeling before I did stuff, because the more I kept feel, act, it was fucking up shit worse than it was already. By all means, life is fucked up. A lot of people is fucked up. There's a lot of fucked up things in the world. The world is not set up for us to be successful. It's almost set up for us to struggle and to fail, just because of the ways that, the decisions that have been made from the people before us, and the people before them, and the people before him. It's a whole cause and effect situation going on. But at some point, the cycle has got to stop. It's this never-ending cycle that's going on, and it starts out, in my opinion, from, we have to really understand how we feel, get a better understanding of that before we start acting. Why are we doing what we're doing? Why do we feel the way that we feel? Why are we being affected by this in this way? And it sounds so simple, I know, but honestly, I say this all the time: shit is not that complicated. We make it complicated. Life is not that hard. We make it hard. It's that simple. So yes, shit is complicated, but it's not at the same time, if you feel what I'm saying. So I've been feeling a lot of stuff lately, and I've been kind of reverting back in a way that my hand is getting tired from holding the phone, but I've been kind of reverting back in a way that I've noticed that, I've been getting so overwhelmed. I have a lot of anxiety that I've been reverting back to the feeling doing thing, instead of really processing and trying to utilize that whole process that I've come to understand. And right now, I'm sorry, you guys, there's like literally 1,000 things that are going through my mind right now. Even just today, I have dealt with a bunch of different situations, and honestly, the thing that I realize is that, I'm dealing with a lot of things right now. I'm dealing with a lot of things from my childhood, from whatever. And I know, a lot of people say, like, oh, don't let your past define you. Don't hold on to the past. Let go of the past, learn from it, and move forward. And by all means, I get that, and I try to do that every day. But there's a lot of things about me that have changed, that have affected me in a lot of ways. Like, I'm gonna just give y'all an example. One thing that I'm dealing with is called C-PTSD. It's complex post-traumatic stress disorder. A lot of people are familiar with this, but most people that have heard of this, it's in reference to PTSD. And there's a newer version that I guess hasn't been recognized by doctors yet, but it's CPTSD. PTSD is basically is caused by a traumatic event, a singular traumatic event. And CPTSD is basically a newer version, which is a person that has this, but it's from multiple traumatic events extending over an extended period of time. And, at first I was diagnosed with PTSD. And then the more I started, talking and coming to understanding and researching and all of that, as I started realizing that I have CPTSD. The definition of it, or to put it as plain and simple, is it's an anxiety disorder. It's basically an anxiety disorder, and where the way that your brain normally function before the event or events, your brain does no longer function in the same way as it used to. I kind of came to realize that this is something that I had because I went through a very traumatic event. I do want to do another talk on this, but I'm not going to get into details about this right now because it's a very complicated situation. But I came to realize that this is something that was going on with me because this was in 2012, August 24th, 2012. About 6 years ago, my husband committed suicide on the phone with me. He shot and killed himself while he was on the phone, and I heard him die. And that event changed my whole entire life. It changed me in a lot of ways. And as this situation, developed, as the more time went by, at first I was really in shock. I wasn't really functioning at all. I like to say, I kind of describe it as me being on autopilot. But once I started kind of coming out of that, I don't remember how long it took for me to kind of come out of that state. Once I kind of came back into myself and I was really starting to, feel things again, and started realizing, like, bruh, something is really wrong with me. I'm not the same. I was having a very hard time functioning. I was having a hard time showering, eating, getting up out of bed. I was having a hard time sleeping, but I was also sleeping a lot. It was just a lot of things going on, and I was really not able to function on a normal day-to-day basis even. And I got to the point where I just realized, okay, something is not right now, and I need help. And that's when I really went to seek help, and that's when I figured out this is something I have. So it's a number of ways that it affects a person. Again, they describe it as an anxiety disorder, but I feel like it goes a lot deeper than that. And I want to do a talk on, there's a lot of talks that I want to do on a lot of different things. I'm going to be just straight up with you guys. The things I'm going to be talking about are the things that we don't want to talk about. And those are the very things that I believe in my heart that are the things that we need to be talking about, and the things that we don't want to talk about. For the obvious reasons, those are the things that we don't want to talk about because they don't feel good to us. They make us mad. They make us sad. They're hard. They're painful to deal with. They're painful to look at. They're painful to relive, or whatever the case may be. Or maybe we're living it every day anyways, and we don't want to have to think about it any more than we already are. We don't want to have to deal with it any more than we already are. But the thing is that there's a difference between thinking about it and actually dealing with it and doing something about it. Those are two very different things. And I'm at this place where I kind of want to almost do my channel like a journey with you guys, because the thing is, and this is another thing that I've been worried about with doing my channel, is a lot of the things that I want to talk about are in reference to my life, to my feelings, to the things that I've been through. But I want to be very clear that this stuff is, none of really what I'm saying is about me. It's really about us. It's about all of us, because I think that I've been through a lot of different things, and by no means am I saying I've had the worst life. I've definitely not had the worst life at all. But I also don't think that we should, compare each other's pain and hardship and things like that. You can't do that, because we're all different. We're all affected by things differently. But I feel like there's a lot of things that I have been through, a lot of things that I feel and see that I think that everybody can relate to in some form or fashion. And so I think I've been concerned that I don't want my channel to seem like I'm trying to get pity, or I'm trying to get attention, or I'm trying to make things about me, because it's really not. And I think that's why I've overthought how I'm saying things, because I don't want it to be taken in that way. But again, like I was saying in the beginning, I think I've thought so hard on that, it's deterred me from actually just doing the shit at all. And I just have to, that's something for me personally that I have to just push past and go ahead and do it. So, yeah, there are a lot of things that I want to talk about. I said in the other intro video that I did that I want, I really hope that you guys can kind of talk back with me if there's things that you want me to talk about. Suggestions would be great. Questions would be great. I'm just kind of gonna pick and choose the different things that I go through. And one of the other things for me is that I can't possibly in one talk try to explain how all of these things are connected, but that's one thing that I want to kind of bring light to as I get further into the talks and into my channel. And it's kind of be like a journey in a way. And I know that sounds really cheesy, but it's kind of going to be like a journey, and all these different points in this roadmap will end up circling back. They will end up connecting. And that's one thing that I've realized through, understanding myself and talking to other people and understanding other people and seeing different perspectives, is that damn near everything seems to be related. It's all cause and effect. And that's one thing I think is a big piece to all of how we start to heal, or how we start to deal with the issues that we are faced with, or things that are thrown on us, or shit, whatever the hell is going on, is that realizing how things are intertwined and really piecing those things together, getting to the core of what really is the problem. Sometimes the problem is within us. You know what I'm saying? And that can be one of the hardest things to accept, is that when, nobody is perfect. We all have our flaws. And sometimes, as much as we want to point fingers and see a problem with everybody else, sometimes, not in every situation, that's not what I'm saying, but sometimes it can be stemming from us in certain ways. And in order for us to see that, especially when we've had a fucked up life, or we've had horrible things to happen to us, it's hard for you to want to say that maybe I'm doing something wrong, or maybe I should do it in a different, handle things in a different way, or see things in a different way. It's hard when you have had, when everything in your life has been bad, and the people have, in your life have been hurtful and traumatized you or used you or manipulated you or lied to you, it's hard to feel like that you did something wrong. Sometimes there's a better way to do something, or there's a different way to look at something. And sometimes that involves us having to look ourselves in the mirror. And I know this sounds weird, but I dead ass look at myself in the mirror. And I don't mean like I'm looking at how I look, but yeah, I'm making myself look at myself. And as I'm looking at myself, I think about, like, especially if I'm going through something that's really hard and I'm confused and I'm hurt and I don't know what to do and I don't know how to feel, I will look at myself in the mirror and I will really make myself look at myself. You know what I'm saying? Look at, what am I doing? How do I feel? Why is this happening? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why is this person do what they're doing? And I really have to force myself to look at it, because sometimes you are a part of it. Sometimes it is something within you that you can change, or you can do differently, or you can see differently, or understand differently. And I think that's really important for us to realize, because at the end of the day, we can try as hard as we can to control other people. And sometimes we may be able to fashion things in a way that it seems like we are actually controlling people. But at the end of the day, it's still like, say you break somebody down so much that you get them to do this. At the end of the day, they still had to decide to break and do that. I'm not saying that people are not, I'm trying to be careful what I say again, but at the end of the day, we still always have a choice. We always have a choice. And I think that is so fucking powerful, y'all. If I could explain that in any other way besides making it sound so simple, but we all have a choice. We all have a choice every single day that we wake up to do the right thing, to do better, to be better, to grow. We always have that option. And I think that when we are going through so much shit and we're in pain and we're angry and we're hurting, we're so focused on that and the people or the things that have caused that we're not seeing the other parts of it. And I know that I've done this myself. So it's very hard to try to sit there and be like, okay, let me just chill from all of this stuff and focus on what I can control. You know what I'm saying? Especially when what's happened to you may make you feel like you're out of control. Like, that's another thing. There are so many times in my life where I feel like I'm going fucking crazy. I feel like I'm going crazy. And honestly, I feel like there have been plenty of times in my life where I have kind of gone crazy. I am crazy. Not crazy in a bad way, but I have been through a lot of shit, and it affects me in a lot of different ways. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I say things that I shouldn't. I do things that I shouldn't. But at the end of the day, what it really is about is understanding that, processing that, doing something about it. You know what I'm saying? Wanting to do better, wanting to get better, wanting to understand more. That should be the focus, I feel like. So again, a lot of things that I'm gonna be talking about are things that aren't comfortable, are things that we don't want to look at, things that we don't, it's much easier to just close your eyes and be like, I don't want to look at that. Let's just pretend it's not there. But it's there. It's fucking there. It's there whether you want it to be there. It's there whether you close your eyes and don't look at it. It's there whether you go, I want to hear that. It's still there. It's still there at the end of the day. And I honestly, when I say it, it could be a billion things. You know what I'm saying? It's something for me. It's a billion things for me, and it's a billion things for you that might be completely different. It's to you than it is to me. But I think y'all know what I'm saying when I say that. But yeah, I'm really overwhelmed right now, and I'm not gonna do too much more of this video, because I feel like I'm just gonna end up getting too overwhelmed myself, and I kind of need to calm down, because I've had a really hard day. But I just needed to get this out, and I really want to start doing this more, where instead of trying to like pick a time during the day and I'm gonna do a talk today, like, I feel like I just need to do this, and when it's flowing, I just need to record. And that's how I think I'm going to do it, because when I try to force it, that's when it's not right. So this is how it's going to be. It might seem weird as fuck. It might seem random as hell. I'm weird. I'm random. I think all of us are weird in our own way. And honestly, I think something that we need to start doing is accepting our weirdness. Being weird is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just the way that society makes us feel. It's try to put us in this box and try to give us all these definitions and make us think that this is what it is, and this is what it's not, and this is how you should be, and this is, and then we try so hard from children to fit into whatever it is that we think that we're supposed to be, or how we're supposed to feel, or what we're supposed to do, that we end up not knowing who the fuck we are, and we're so confused. You know what I'm saying? And then who we are is just buried up in all this crap. You know what I'm saying? So again, not going to get too much into too much more right now. I'm sorry that I'm talking fast, you guys. My thoughts is like a billion times faster, and I try to keep up. I hope y'all understood me. I'm going to be back to talk again soon. I don't really know exactly what my next talk is going to be, because again, is going to be just kind of random, but I hope y'all bear with me if you've made it through this video this far, because it's 23 minutes and it's been a minute. I appreciate you for listening. I love you guys, and I will talk to y'all again soon.